So right now, instead of me having my intro, I'm going to put my contacts in. I'd like to be able to see what we're doing, but at the same time, I could say maybe making you wait another 5-10 minutes, but then you're thinking, is she going to do the show today? And the answer is yes. It's just, I'm not sure why everything seems out of order. So instead of having a hard routine, I'm looking for that third option. And with that third option, I'm able to not have to lose my shit. I work with it. So hello. Yes, hello. So I got something in my hair. I can't tell. Let me just now get the screen over to where I want it to be so I can start seeing what's happening. Hello. Thank you so much. Now, if I could just get myself organized, we'll be fine. We're going to talk about dreams today because I know I need to do a class. I know that Spirit says, write a book, do a class, do something. And I will. It's just, if I had writing skills, it'd be done. But dreams, majority of the thing is you start off with dreams, you get a scary dream. And oh my Jesus, you're like, what the? OMJ, not OMG, but OMJ, oh my Jesus. Because sometimes you need to call upon Jesus because they're so damn fearful. But that's an ego mindset. But you know that is actually a thing that about a communication tool that it says to you, hey, I want you to remember this dream. How are we going to get you to remember this dream? Because most of you will say, well, I don't dream at all. You have to, or you die. You just you're trained your brain to shut it off or not to remember or not know how to communicate with that very special part of yourself. How are you going to wake up? I'm not talking about waking up from a dream. I mean, how does your soul going to help you wake up to a different space, to be a different you? Okay, now what's funny is I put my contacts in, and now that I can't see the screen, because apparently I haven't healed this one. I didn't even know it needed to be healed until last year. So now I'm looking for my little glasses, which I don't have. Oh, good Lord. Thank you, Spirit, for making them appear because it's going to be a guessing game. And I have no clue where I would have even taken them off at, to tell you the truth. So when you're dreaming in your sleep, you can learn how to build a relationship while you're awake. And when you are just beginning fearful dreams, to make you feel the fear, it is so you remember your dream. And hopefully you are at a different level of consciousness that knows how to interpret your dream so you can see the subject you're working on. It will be the subject that you're working on. Well, I don't got anybody chasing me in real life. Do I have to be paranoid and think people are chasing me? No, that's not what it said. It said that all parts of you in a dream are you. Every single aspect. The killer, the beater, the mean person. These aren't just people. They're aspects of you. And when you start to awaken up to what is an aspect to you, I do not want to use these glasses. I just don't like them. Sam, I don't like them. And they're dirty to boot. But they are there to be understood. So you really need to have a class for it. And I want you to take the woo-woo out of a lot of things. Because it's the woo-woo when you are using your ego mindset and fear, the woo-woo tells you that you're supposed to be afraid. If you're only following the fear instead of the joy, you will not understand the importance of a scary dream. So if you're not, God bless you. No, that's not the pair. It's the purple ones. I'll take them. My husband's such a sweetheart. He's trying to help me find I have no clue where they are. It's not making any sense. I don't remember ever taking them out of the room. No. Sometimes, well, me and my husband can wear the same close-up glasses, but I don't remember letting him borrow them or use them in my office. He could have sat down and used them. He usually comes in with his own pair. That tells me, is it on the floor? No. So your dreams can also help you find things. That's the next clue. All right, I'm going to have to deal with the way I look today. So I've lost certain things. Now, it doesn't work for all because I haven't found my camera yet. But I have lost things, and that sensation of lost, and then the energy of sensation of found. Again, you are emotions. You are mental and emotional things. And if you begin to understand how to work with you, as well as how to work with you and communicate with you at the dream level, you can find things, because it's a sensation of lost and sensation of found. And when you do, you have a sensation of places. So I lost something and I was like, okay, fine. I gave it to spirit. And this is when back in the day when I really was downloading how to do your dreams. And I was like, I can't find this. And one of the tools that Spirit and I have worked together is when I want to find something, I usually have to lose something that it's like an importance, like glasses. It's like, oh my God, I got to go on a search. So on that search, my end result is to find a particular pair of glasses. I will find all the other things I've lost. Spirit will rearrange everything to be able to get you there. It's really fun. Actually, it's annoying as hell at the same time. If you're an ego going, oh my God, oh, look at all the time I've wasted, oh my God. But if you're an ego, it's going to be hell, and it'll be a hell loop, and you'll keep this pattern, and your brain will say, oh, you got to act this way each time. But if you're in your spirit mindset and you're looking with your spiritual self about how to do things, you'll be amazed, because all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, it's not there. So, you start using your intuition. You'll find it. You'll not find it. Where am I going? How do you'll amaze yourself. You really will. Because that relationship is that, okay, I lost something major. I can feel that my mind is on this end result. I already know that I'm going to be looking for things that I've lost, and I'm going to find along the way. And it's not that I remember this in my school days. Sometimes you need to do that. But no, that's not always. Okay, not always. And you've got to train and learn how to take that communication bridge and be able to work with yourself in such a way that you understand the language of your soul. And dreams was one of them. So I'll be searching, and I find this and this and this. Again, it's not, oh, this is from my childhood days, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you have to go reminiscing, you'll do that. But what I found is that's minimal. I don't spend hours doing that. I don't get sidetracked, because Spirit says you need to find this. So there's the urge or something I'll have to do. And I'm like, oh my God, that's right. I was looking for this to go with that. And then all of a sudden I will have this whole treasure chest of things that I've needed or wanted. Like, here's the other thing. So in the dreaming aspect, oh, I wish I had this thing. And then all of a sudden I was dreaming it. And for some reason, I think I manifested in my dream that I already had it, because I don't know which timeline I went on. And I come back and I was looking, I didn't know I had this. Did I just manifest this out of nowhere? Or did I manifest it from when I used to live in Michigan? There's the weirdest things, because it's all about jumping timelines, changing mandalas. But if you learn to listen with your dreams, so some people will tell me, okay, what's this dream about? Oh, that's the hell you're in right now. So are you going through low confidence, worrying about a test, doing things? Yes. Okay, great. So let's heal this out. So I grab tools, like OMG, success hope therapy or something. And then I had one client we worked on the dream. Oh my God, that was so fearful. Man, was that enlightening, because that is what's going through my life. They worked, they did some success hope therapy. And then the next day they go, oh my God, my dream. And it was a progress report. It was a graduation in the dream that those aspects of themselves started to integrate. And so they could see they didn't have to really worry about an issue because it was solved, and they could feel it in themselves. Close, but not, that's getting better. Oh, I love that, man. That's the right color almost. And so progress reports. Like my husband will have a dream. He'll like, okay, this is strange. I don't understand it. And oh, thank you for the wonderful roses. Thank you. I don't understand it. So we'll talk about it. And he goes, oh yeah, that makes sense. That is actually an issue I had as a child. And I can see how I feel like I still have that from my youth. Now, I don't remember my youth much, but I remember that. I said, that's all you need. You don't need the whole every second scenario. And so he sits down, he puts his hand on his head. He's done that. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. And then the next day he'll get a progress report, and it might be, just tweak it just a little. Go over here. Just go over here. Just do it just a little bit more. Focus on this. So he knows when he has a certain dream, he's like, ooh, there's got to be some juicy bits into it now, because this means I could possibly get some more information because I'm not seeing something. I can't get it. And then because he's working with his subconscious mind and his innate wisdom, he'll get it in the dream. That little aspect. What now? Okay, we're still having feedback issues, but no big deal. Spirit will work it out. Spirit will work it out. So right now, I think my progress report is to seeing, what do you want to call it? How do I handle things? How I do anything is how I do everything. And I'm handling it with calmness. I'm handling it by looking with my spirit mind about what it is I'm doing. I am at the same time translating the signals that spirit wants you to understand about dreams. Okay? But dreams can do so much more. Every aspect in the dream is you. And when you start to take one word that describes that aspect in the dream, they were mean to me. So you have an aspect that's being mean to you. Okay? This aspect that's being mean to you in real life, you can go, I see that signature there. I see that aspect over there. It's like, hold on. In the mirror effect, that's me being me. Holy shit. Okay? And I will get you that 2-minute reads in just 1 second. So we're going to do some spirit speak. And as soon as we're done, we'll get you that read. I'm glad to have you aboard. Okay. So your dreams, there's so much to it. I don't care. Like a lot of people have problems with dreams with sex. I just had I know that I identify as a female. I know that I'm attracted to a male. I know that it's just in the preference of sexuality. And growing up with different belief systems, you can limit yourself. You can do this and that. It depends on all these strict rules. But in a dream, if I'm having a sex with a female in a dream, that is me learning how to be personal with myself. I'm getting intimate with me. Into me, I see. Did you get that? Into me, I see. Okay. So if I'm having a sex with a male, but not with my husband, and if I share that with my husband in the ego mindset, you're cheating on me, blah, 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 you want to. No, that's not what that means. That's bringing false meaning into creating a false reality. But what that means is there's a male aspect that and when I look at them, they were more muscle or they were more smart. What part of me is starting to realize that I'm smart and that I'm strong? What yang energy, not penis, but male energy, am I connecting? Now, sometimes we can't understand that male unless we attach a penis to it or a vajayjay somewhere. But it's all in the different ways that you define different things. Now, if you lead with fear, you're going to have a major issues. But if you lead with your spirituality, you will actually be helping your soul because you're building a communication to the soul. Do you understand? There's so much more we could do about it. Now, I saw something here. I love feedback. Oh, thank you for all the help. That's wonderful. Nikki says, I definitely did not understand the importance and aspects of me in my dreams until recently as I shifted my consciousness, and now my dreams are no longer scary, mostly healing and teaching. Yes. I've gone so far as in my levels, we always say, we got to protect ourselves. There's evil things. Well, before I transferred into this part of myself that realizes there is no enemy, there was a part of me that had felt this energy, and it felt like it was invading. Now, some people say, oh, that was an evil spirit, blah, blah. No. Take your energy and rise higher. But in my dream, I don't remember much except for I could feel this thing, and it's the energy of communication. And it felt like it was invading instead of integrating. And I woke up. I mean, I was sleeping. And I woke up and I went, bam! I mean, literally, I smacked my hands so hard that I woke my husband. And in my mind, I'm constantly going, go to the light. And I went just like that. And then it went, and then all of a sudden, everything that was in my space pushed out. And I felt this, my orb. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, shields are up. I woke up and went, oh my God, I just protected myself from fear. Well, however it wanted to show up. It didn't need to be in my space. This energy didn't need to be in my space. And I had the power within me while I was sleeping to do just that. And I've healed. Oh my God. I live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, and dream it. I'm not kidding. Because when you start working with the seventh plane in this energy field with your higher consciousness, it has a language, which is what I teach. And what it does is it's simply, wow, it makes a big difference because I can go to bed. I need to heal this. Thank you, Spirit. Include my higher consciousness. Use a tool. And in my dream, I can play something out. And, there's some that just you have to do and do and do and do. And it's the insanity of repeat. Well, I can push my finger on a button now and it'll freeze. And I'll say, what part of my dream am I missing? What part of my life am I not seeing? And then all of a sudden, certain gems will start to glow. I'll go over to that gem and I'll ask, what do I need to know about this? Because my soul has said this is a very important piece for me as a soul to evolve as this human. Other parts of my dream is that I've actually felt my nervous system that was holding all these nasty stuff started to transform out, not create or destroy, but transform out into a very high frequency, which it was almost like the default setting, going back to joy. I'm like, whoa. And the more you deliberately work with it, the more you are going to have feels like someone's got your back. You've got somebody's listening to you. You are getting it. Oh my God. See, Nikki said, yes, I thought I seen demons in my dreams and they ended up being my wounds. Yes. You need to define. And I will tell you that over and over, that defining words and things makes you rise higher, because then your brain does not have to interpret it without spirit. Your brain, it says, okay, I'm going to fill in the blank with the fear you had or with the spiritual information you have. The brain only fills in the blank. You've got to decide how you want to do it. You have to decide. And when you decide to follow, oh, what do I got? I don't know what that is, but that was really cool. Focus. Love it. So take your time. If you really want to get to know your soul and your higher consciousness, I highly suggest you start doing this work. It's not work. It can be fun. I look forward to having a wonderful life. And then when I have an issue that pops in and knocks and says, hey, you need to work on this, I take and I learn to work with it as a whisper instead of ignoring it or doing all the old things to it has to come in louder until I get a bitch slap and forces me because I hate change. But is that really true? Or did you take on a belief system that says, I don't know how to handle change. I never learned soul empowerment or soul individuality, as well as I didn't know how to do independence. I feel like my lip just went, it's really weird. You can change a lot of who you are and growth by working with your dreams. And I started out that way, but now I've got it so I can help people begin to see and participate in their life a little bit more hands-on so they don't have to feel lost. Do you understand? Okay. This is bugging me that I can't find. So Spirit, why do you have my mind so set on that I can't find my lenses? Is there a reason that you want me to? So it's just bizarre because there's no reason to take him out of here. And my husband's already looked next to my bed. He's already looked. You can't find. I have to tell you the most strange, bizarre thing. I think this is what they want me to talk about, besides the dreams. Energy fields have been changing. And usually I like to give an update, to myself. So I was in a different timeline than my husband. But he was also not in his right timeline neither. You have a choice of going back to sleep or waking up or transforming. I went out there. I did not see something in the van. I looked, couldn't find it. I come in, I ask, and he goes, I don't know. I come in here and I started to go into the intolerance tube of being upset. And I said, hold on. I don't do that. That's a test. It was more than a test. I had to see. I said, well, that's bizarre. I asked, and the thing is, I didn't just go into ego. I learned to talk to my heart. I learned to talk to higher consciousness. Why would I need to go down that road? Am I healing something or do I need to see something? And I had to see something. So I says, oh my God, okay. So I went back out knowing I felt like I had switched back to the right timeline with my husband. And I ran back out in the van. And if it wasn't for the fact that there was two things that I saw at the same time, when I got in the van, it wasn't there the first time. And I looked over that and I didn't realize that one piece was missing. But this time I went out in the van, I seen it was missing. I looked over, I opened, and there they were. And I felt I'm in the right timeline. I could have started an argument with my husband if I wanted to, if I didn't really know what was going on. Do you understand? You have to become more aware of certain fights that you're picking. Is it the filter? Is it the fear? Is it a belief? Which one is driving you to think a certain way? You understand? Which one is doing that? Because you do not have to believe everything you tell yourself, and you do not have to be victim, because we're moving out of that archetype. So when you say you're victim blaming or stop being a victim, we have to play all these different perspectives to the kaleidoscope of life there. But it's ultimately your choice. What are you choosing? How are you going to choose? Where are you going to go? I had to see that an old belief system, the frequency of negativity was low. I could have created and stayed in a relationship or in this moment to be hell. But because I second guessed with spirit going, whoa, 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 that's not usually me. That's a sign. What do you want me to see? Show me the third option. I was able to shift myself into a higher presence and bring my husband with me, because I saw he had switched too. But that was after, but something strange inside of me. So you're using your intuition more with your spirit and with less with your ego. You'll be able to see these strange things. But as long as you understand that when spirit really works with you, you're not freaked out by it. You're like, interesting. If you're freaked out by it, you have a lot of fear that's going to be filtering through, giving its opinions and confusing you. So to me, I know they're real. I don't have to feel like, oh my God, I'm crazy and what other people think. Whoa. I let spirit do its best to explain. But me and him, once I decided by choice, do I want to fight? No. Is it necessary? No. Is this feeling and this emotion creating this reality? Yes. But because I caught it with my spirit and said no, I could have healed it out, but it wasn't something I needed to heal out. It was a habit, and it was testing me. And I said, no. The power of no is important here. And I was able to line up and go, interesting. I mean, literally, if it wasn't for the fact I ran back out into the van and re-looked at it with my higher self, I wouldn't have caught that I had a choice between fighting or not creating that shit. I transformed it out. I come back in, everything's cool. 2 seconds ago, we could have had a fight. It is the power of choice and the power of choice of saying yes or no. Which do I agree to? Which one am I going to give my will, my life force to? Which one am I going to fall for? Which one have I, whoa. So self-empowerment can be when you start to catch whether or not, I'm going to tell you how smart spirit is. Watch. Ta-da. Spirit's to take those off and wait for it to pop in. And they popped in. Yay! Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Robin says, I used to dream I was being chased by a dragon. Now, let me tell you about dragons. You have kundalini energy. You have, it's the representation of a dragon. There's so many levels to this. We think human is the only thing that's, what are you talking about? Everybody has come in looking like this, a human. This is the only avatar that should be on every planet that I ever find. I have a bra issue. Kundalini energy is not, when these two start to move, it is the healing aspect. And it looks like the, in a medical field, in originality, it was the snake going up a staff. But then there's two snakes going up a staff. And for me, if you've looked on my tribal, you'll see two snakes. And that is the way energy flows with yin and yang going through the 7 levels where they cross is the levels of consciousness. And when they finally get into the heart and brain coherence, it is you no longer have to keep separating yourself. See, when you start to get to be inside the womb, you have a tail until you morph into this avatar. The energies, and they're saying, shut up. Okay, yeah, because I could talk, I teach, I can do all this. But understand that this was created very specifically to help you be the phoenix and rise, because you're the messenger. A bird represents messages. You are giving a message out every day to somebody that may be looking at you and you don't know it, or maybe somebody that you are in connection with and you don't know it, but these are all aspects of you. And there is a language to communicate it. Again, thank you, Spirit, for finding my glasses or making them reappear when I finally did what I was supposed to do. I could feel they were here. All right, you still here for your 2 minute? Are you still here? I'm just going to call you M. M. That's what I'm going to call you. I don't know even how to even think about it. So let me know you're here. You can get your 2 minute, and I'm so glad you're here. Now, did you bring yourself? This is all, not even, this is just the topic of the day about dreams. We have a topic about healing every single day, about life in any form of way. We have it. We can talk about whatever. What does your soul want you to know? Thank you for the stars. Totally appreciate it. Your name's Going Dreams. And Amy, if you're over on TikTok, thank you for taking note of who is gifting so I can put them in a dream. Oh, my thing's not charging. Crap! Spirit, why is it not charging? Because the little cord got disconnected. Okay, I appreciate that. That's not the cord, Spirit. Okay, so sometimes we're not completely connected, eh? Is that what you're trying to sell me? Ah, Spirit. God love you. Healing crap is amazing because I was so tired of insanity. I was so tired of the hell loop. I was so tired of being in that matrix. I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. Oh, did I lose the person? Oh, I'm here. I saw the word. I'm there. Okay. One screen's not showing it. The other one is. We're fine. Start that. No. Cancel. Starting, connecting. Okay, they're all signed. All right, M. You think I don't have my shit together? Is this all a sign? 2 minutes for you. Did anybody bring you, honey? Or how did you find me? Let me know, because if somebody brought you, I need to know that. But if you brought yourself, good job. Your soul is saying it's time to awake. But if somebody brought you, there's a process of rewards here. So I'll look up in just a second. M. Me. I feel like you're doing your best. Thank you. To vocalize something, whether you want to be a singer or you're trying to get the words out. And they're saying that you're not hitting all the notes. So when I do cough and stuff like this, I feel like there's something going on this area that's see, now they're making me stutter. They said there's invading energies that influence my way of ability to speak. So I'm just going to jump down. Are you a kinesthetic, a sensitive, or an empath? They said the chase is on. You had about 5 years old, something happened in your space that caused it to be marked in your brain. Your brain says there's an excess of you have to do it right. You have to do it wrong. Don't do it wrong. Do it right. So there's a lot of authority, a lot of right and wrong. So there's a lot of restrictions that causes you to silently brood and not able to use your voice. So does this make sense so far? Because you are now, as you've aged, I want to use my power. How do I use my power? And the exertion of your power, when you exert it, then it feels like there's an insanity. Absolutely. It feels like there's an insanity. I think they're blaming me. I think that I shouldn't have done that. So then you rehash it and then you have to blame yourself. And this loop is where they want me to have you look, because you are doing your best to heal what's called a letdown. I don't want to be let down. I've been let down. This is a story of my life, but it's what you did with your will. Does this make sense? Because if it does, I will give you a point to help you understand or help you heal how this, what? So they're trying to get you to say, have you ever felt let down? Have you ever felt like you let someone down? Okay, please let me know. Yes, it does. Okay, and anybody in TikTok land as well as anywhere else, if it makes sense to you, you can follow along. So when you feel like you're let down and you're doing this, and they're really pointing out here that it's about the blame game, if I were to use my voice, it's the right and wrong. If you have this right and wrong, you always pick the wrong timing, you don't do it right, there's going to be this feedback from outside, and there's going to be a feedback here. Yours is on a hammer herd, which means something happened in your youth that made it mark. And did the age make sense to you? Because what they want you to do is to focus on how that very specific energy of being let down, or that you're afraid to let someone down, because it's all about, I'm not going to do it right, all of these things. So you're going to take your left wrist. Okay, so I'll just wait for you to respond. Take your left wrist. Okay. And what you're going to find is I have points here. These are along the fingers. So you're going to follow the fingers, 1, 2, 3. So to find the third point, you put 3 fingers. And at the bottom point, your thumb goes soft, not deep, soft. Place your pointer finger in the palm so you make the letter C. Or wrap these 3 around for safety, stability, and stability, safety. I want to say strength. I've never used that word, but they're really trying to make me say strength. So I feel like you're ready to get your power back. Anyway, top of the head. Drop it. So the palm touches here. And then I want you to sit there, and I want you to measure, not sure about the age, but yes, loss of my voice. Okay, what happens is usually there's a root cause, which they wanted me to show you at 5. But in 2017, yes, that is another major event for your life. So if you want to use that as your memory, you will then start to heal out those little things that can lead you back to it, because again, yours is heavy mark. It's a heavy mark. There's different degrees of marks. Yours is a heavy mark. When you start to remove the emotion off the heavy mark, you will start to transform yourself. Okay. And you'll know it. You'll know it. Ask anybody in the room that has done this work. It is, I feel crazy. I'd be like this. This is how I know my life. And since 2017, and this is 2022, this is how many years alone have this been still affecting you? So you can take and transform yourself by letting the innate wisdom in the body do the work with your participation. Put it on. Yeah, this makes sense. It's a 10 or 10 plus. But just sit in it, hold it and sit in it. As the body and the blood and every innate wisdom all begin to work, that how you know it will start to become not as draining, not as potent, not as charged, not as, oh my God, it's still there. And then the thoughts will change, the emotions will change. And as they start to transform themselves out, it doesn't take away that it happened. It takes away so you're not in prison. It lets you have your power back because you lost it at that time and you marked it. And now we can start to heal it out, if that makes any sense. But the only way to really do it is you have to experience it. You have to experience it, okay? So Amy says it works. I was in a complete shit show on Tuesday and healed with her and was able to do my live show. And now here's the thing. She's been, her life was awesome. She come in and she met me. I told her, I said, is your life hell? No, what are you talking about? And now that she's been healing out, oh, that hurt. Ooh, I don't like that date. Oh my God, loss. She's starting to realize that she's living a life that she didn't create, but just followed. The next logical step in ego, the next logical step because I was told to. So she's moving out of surviving and to thriving, or surviving to thriving. She's ready. So she's starting to notice when she's crying, which isn't always about being the state that you're meant to be in, because that's actually, suffering is just an option. And when your joys start to disappear, hold on, not happy. Let me heal this shit. You have the option to unhook from this matrix, resolve your issues to evolve your soul. Okay. Anybody else that wants a reading or anything like that? Just to let you guys know, I will not be doing the show. April. Excellent. April is going to be, she's doing the expedite. Her name goes in a drawing. So if you pay to come on, your name goes into a drawing for a chance to win a 30-minute session with me. Let me get my link. Wait, did she say she can come on? I got to see here. Yes. Okay. Did she? You're welcome. Heal. Use it. Don't just take this information. Use it. Resolve to evolve. April, did you say you can come on? Because if so, I will go find you, my love. Yes. Yay. All right. So Miss April. Oh, let's see. Wait for your little name to pop. There it is. Come on. Apparently I have to coax. I'm not sure what's going on. I think I might have to do something with my computer. It seems to be very slow for some silly reason ever since I put Windows 11 in. When I get a fast computer, there's no reason for it not to function. Okay. So she'll be coming on in just a moment here. Anybody understand? Okay, that's what I was doing. Just understand that me and my husband have deliberately put ourselves in the wheel of life and says we have to do some downtime. How are we going to do it? Instead of doing one thing, I like to buy something or do something not only has one function but has multi-functions, and so you get really a lot out of it. So we're going to be doing a lot of different interesting things. That is just going to be how I'm going to really take my downtime. So I won't be doing the show on Thursday. I will be doing tonight's show for an hour. And so then the following Monday won't. So, gotta get your mic. There we go. Hi, dear. How are you?
Hello.
I think you had a good vacation. Your energy looks good. You have a concern over your shoulders. So I'm just curious about that one. But anyways, how are you doing?
I'm still on vacation. I don't go back to work until Thursday.
Enjoy.
I've noticed that I'm in this, I guess, a loop that I see it, but I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think that maybe there's a spiritual message that someone's trying to tell me. I really feel like I've had a closeness of someone following me,
Okay.
But my loop is, okay, so the last couple of my things I was healing was disappointment with relationships.
Right.
And I came up with disappointment. I'm talking about the relationship with myself. I'm disappointed in myself. So I've had that indecisiveness. So yesterday morning I woke up. I'm going to go to this festival, and it was a rock thing or whatever. And then I was playing on my phone and was like, well, you should have got up early because you could in there when they opened, then you could come back by noon, da-da-da-da-da. Well, you need to do this project. You need to do this project. You need to do this project. And I was like, well, there's no really need to go there. I just wanted to go there and look at the pretty rocks. Okay, so this morning I got up and I was like, you know what? It's vacation. I'm still on vacation. I can do whatever I want to do. So I went, but I guess I just was doing the guilty thing. My ego was like, why are you doing that? You should do this project, do this project. And I've also had a thing with procrastination. And right now there's like 3 big projects of like cleaning out closets, cleaning out the basement, cleaning out the garage that we need to do because we've accumulated extra blessings in our house over 13 years. So I don't know if it has something to do with that, but then I get indecisive and it's like, wait, and I know who I am. I do. I know who I am. And I want to be my authentic self always. So.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, number one, you have tech. That means you wrote something that you said, I have to work this way, be this way in order to survive. This tech came with a condition. This is how you're supposed to be. This is, if the bell rings, then you have to automatically become this. But you also have a soul attraction. So at 4 years old, you saw a phobia that somebody else did that said, I have to repeat this pattern. And it is the fear. If I don't keep busy, what's going to happen? If somebody's looking and I'm not busy, is something going to happen? And again, I'm going to go back to the first one. If I'm not busy, something bad's going to happen. Okay. And so I asked, does this have to do with keeping the mind busy? This is a conditioning. Again, they're looking at a very aggressive. This is the right thing to do. If you have downtime, don't let your house get messy. You need to do this. And if you are measuring, and this is part of the tech, if you're measuring your life based on what you've accomplished in that day only, then you are not going to allow yourself to have joy. Because you are like, if I got this accomplished, it's a good day. But if you go a little bit further and say, oh, I allowed myself, and again, I think that's why I said it's important to look at the wheel of life, because resting, playing is very, very important for the soul. Singing, dancing is very important for the soul. You're not playing in your soul song. Do you understand? Okay, so the phobia. I feel like what you saw was, feel like your parents, there was a lot of phobia that if I don't keep my mind busy, and this is what they did in the old days before they had healing tools. They, instead of drinking, that they would just worry. It was just a way to cope because they couldn't figure out how to cope with the thoughts, how to cope with fear, how to cope with the emotion. Okay. They taught in certain generations, well, the right thing to do is to keep yourself busy. The right thing to do is to make sure that you accomplish something. So they're doing their best than the generations before. And every child that does their best than the generation from before. So things will get passed down. And I said, is this just an epigenetic? They said, no, it's a play out. So it also has the next logical step. So if ego says the next logical step is you have to do this, for me, it was built into me through a collective that I'm female, you have to marry a man, and then have babies, and then be a servant to do this. I had somebody that was around the same age. They were built that they had to go to college, put themselves first, and then maybe think about getting married and have a baby. And the way we were taught and programmed and it felt, we just did it. If I had a choice today to have kids, I would probably say no first, out of fear, but also because as I began to know me, do I have the mental and emotional status to do it? I pushed myself to be the best mom that I could, as far as not lose my shit in front of anybody, to show what love is. And I understand why I had kids, so that I could create a different way of seeing, healing, and being, not just to do my part to show the next evolution part of what parenting is. So what they want you to understand is that the very first thing, as you were talking, was fear, phobia, fear, phobia, fear. I'm like, what? You were taught that if you're not doing something, you said, I have to bitch at myself. How am I going to get me to do what I want, or to do what the next logical step is, or the next right step is to bitch myself. So if you look at how, and I feel that the other energy is that, oh, can I just sit for a moment? No, that's wrong. Remember the right and wrongs? And I feel like you looked at your mother and father and or whoever it was there, and you went, that's wrong. That's wrong. And when I grow up, I'm doing it this way. We have that can interfere with who we are. And I feel that was a nice, strong one, because I think you had a fear, I am not going to be like them. So you have a knot. And you thought, well, if they're sitting on their ass, that's wrong. And the right way to do is to work. If I want something done, I have to do it myself. You know what I mean? It's all this. So these are programs. So not only are you going to sit there and start noticing that you have a built-in bitch that has to force you because you don't have any other way to motivate yourself. And that tells me that you've watched people that judge. I don't like the way you do it, so I'm going to nag the hell out of you until you do what I say, because then it looks right. Does this make sense? But you're doing it to yourself. Remember that intolerance tube I was talking about? This is yours to you. You got to clean it out. So the very first thing you're going to do, because it's going to be real quick, you're going to hold L1D because it was a coping tool. Okay? Because you had to build it up and to force yourself to behave a certain way, it's still L1D, because now it is, I can't be confident unless my heart's crushed. So now you got a quota to fill. This permissions, I can't do it unless I have, whose permission? Whose permission did you need to go to that show? Who, if your husband says, hey, honey, why don't you go? Yay, I got permission. You don't even know that permission's sitting there, even though she knows she doesn't need his permission. It's not that age. It is the age of when she was 4. And that shows me where the phobia is at as well. And they said R3S.
You froze on me.
Oh,
you froze.
That's a sign. That's a sign.
So you said, whose is this? And I said, I think it's my ex-husband. And your arm was up like this.
Yep, we did freeze. Okay. Thank God this is recorded so you can rewatch this part. And we got timestamps, thank goodness. But these phobias, a 4-year-old self has got this phobia and you're repeating it. And one time you saw it with your ex-husband. But just understand that this controls the behavior. It's time to get your power back so you can have this power. The conditioning, you're going to have to ask Spirit, thank you, Spirit, kind of show me when the bell rings so that I'm going in this conditioning. I'd like to catch it before it even starts. You will learn to train yourself to see it and heal it. Remember the soul attraction. You saw it. You got to keep bringing people in your space. Okay. And overall, they want you to do L2D because it's about how you lose power or how you have to exert power or how you give your power away. But that permission factor, it's like looking for approval or show me the next right step. And that's also an L2D because if you don't get this, then there's an overbearing energy that comes in. And I need you to clean out your tube. And again, when you're sitting there going, you're bitching at yourself, well, you haven't done this and you can't do that and that and that. They want you to hold L3D because you taught yourself that you're an object. So start cleaning out that intolerance tube. And when you do catch yourself and you're like, oh my God, I'm chastising myself, I'm doing this and that, again, you're telling yourself you have to go small. So you do the program, which is the next logical step. Again, this is not even involving spirit, which is still L3D. So then you're supposed to move into dread. I have to dread this. I hate this. I got to go in that talk too. L3D. Okay. So this was a nice, juicy one.
Yes.
I love
all
those.
Last week, yes, all last week when we was in Tennessee, my mind was present moment. We done this a few years. Nothing will affect our vacation. Nothing will affect our vacation. The weather won't affect our vacation. Nothing won't affect our vacation. We have to wait for food. Nothing's going to wait. But now it's like we walk into a restaurant. We get seated right away. We get served right away. We get hot food. We always get the nicest people. And then so we always say thank you, Spirit, and everything. So
you have trained and built your brain to do filling in the blank. She believed it. She's seen it. Got enough proof. And when shit did show up, she'd say, no. changed the way she responded. Her brain says, "Ooh, I see goodness. Look at that. Let's go here." And so now when they go on vacation, they don't have any programs that have to come involved because she says, "No, this is what it is." He said, "No, this is what it is. I want what my wife says right there. That's what I want. My wife. Wife, you're in charge." And so you have this, so you move into that timeline and your brain already knows, boom, 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 boom. So good job. Now let's bring it to the rest of your life. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Good job.
Right,
thank you so much, honey. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. I hope you learned from her. I hope you could understand that you can move. Hi, Lillian. How are you doing? So I'm looking into the rooms. I'm double checking to see if anybody, let me see, anybody else? Nope. Okay. Just like I said, I will not be here. Or I'm not going to be doing shows. I'm taking unless I'm practicing, because we may take and travel. We may do something. So I'm setting up for the next adventure. So I have to find all the little problems areas and fix them so that I can make sure that it goes smoothly when I go and I do my next adventure. Okay. So now I'm going to look at the 1 minute. Whoops. Okay. Brenda, you can create a screen. And there you go. Just have to talk myself through some events here. And we're getting this. Oh, yes, we have a list going. Now, again, if you're new and you want a reading, you get 2 minutes. And it's not painful. It's actually quite nice. So April's there. Okay. So I'll go over. No. There will be tribal. There will be tribal tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have tribal, and which is Monday for you, Tuesday for me. It's just no show on Thursday. And I haven't decided, but my husband and I were thinking, well, we should take that Monday off as well, but tribal will always be in effect because Spirit loves you. I love you. We really want to transform this planet. And the only way to do that is to go inside and help heal. So we will have it. Okay. All right. So let's get cracking and then we will, again, if you're new, let me know. So we're going to jump over to Nikki Mendez. Is that right? Yes. Miss Nikki, what I'm looking at is your soul is saying that, and then they're putting NESS, is different. So, when you feel helpless and all of this, there's a negativity. It went from negative to more positive. So you're having more hopefulness, more, gratefulness. So they're saying that has moved. And what it means is there's less self-abuse. That means you are changing your tolerance tube? Yes. And they said that the self-imposed limitations, you're learning to break those. So you're getting a progress report. That's what they want you to understand. And the ups and downs, you're starting to realize you don't really need them. Keep a journal, because when ego goes into using depression or anything, it'll feel like you never left. So when you are having a good day, you need to put down, like do it by hours. And the reason why I say by hours is when the ego mindset takes over and you have anxiety or you have fear, anything that comes in, it'll feel like you never left and you've been there for years because it's such an old familiar thing that you're working on, because this is a big mothership. You asked for prosperity. That's funny. You did get a report. Yes. So they just want to say you're doing excellent. They're proud of you. Now take the next step. So let's say you get up at 8 a.m. and you are happy or semi-happy. You can do it by smiles or you can do it by numbers, but let yourself know. Now, if you put that you are happy and the happy is a 10, great. What's it about? And this is to say, I woke up happy because it's a great feeling. That's all you have to say. Or because when you start to say that it's going to be a great day, or that means it's like, you almost try to have to convince. It's a sensation within yourself. Like I get up and it's like, but I already know that I'm happy. I just got to get my eyes open. and operate this vessel. But other than that, I already know I'm having a day, and it's going to be an expectancy of all these wonderful things that could happen. Show me, show me, show me. My body already knows what joy is. I don't have to go looking for it. It's there. It's awesome. It's great. Okay. So when you start to train the body to go with your circadian rhythms, you're going to write down like, I woke up happy, and I know what happy feels like. It's like I woke up healthy. Oh God, that feels good. How do you explain it? It feels good. Train your brain. If you woke up less than happy and you notice it's not, it's like a 4, and it's about worry. What's the subject? What are you trying to talk to yourself about? And are you losing power that you don't need to? So then you'd write it down. But you're ready to train yourself, because when depression takes over or anything like that takes over, you, like I said, you swear to God, you never left. And you don't even know what joy means. So when you have wrote down all your good stuff, and you wrote down when you're mediocre, and then when you are in a nasty space, you'll probably argue with yourself. No, I'm crappy. That's fine. You can write down, I'm crappy today, and none of this is real. All that is bullshit. I know what hell is. But when you will be able to work with those two particular parts of your mindset, and you'll start to notice these very specific aspects or parts of yourself that are looking for love. And when you begin to take and help transform using any tool, and all tools that help you, then you'll be surprised, because the depression may only come once, not every day, but maybe once a fortnight. And when you start registering in your brain that you're having more joy than fear, you can your brain will say, that's not true. And you can have your turnaround times faster and faster and faster. Do you understand? Nikki says, wow, I actually was going to set a timer throughout the day to make sure I sit and grateful for a minute. Yes, start doing that as well, because the only reason grateful even exists is because you already lived joy once. That means you already know it. But if you sit there and tell yourself how you know joy and gratefulness, then you're going to not sit there and go, hey, I received this. Oh, thank you. And to make it disappear, you're going to go, oh my God, thank you. You're going to be an amazing moment. Like when I say, get your giggles on. Your body says, you mean we can have this all the time? Yes, it's not about overcoming. It's about transforming the nervous system, that you don't have to sit in hell. You don't have to be the prisoner at all. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Yes, more joy than fear is amazing. And when you start to register that how you know joy, it's not, I'm grateful I have this, but it's when I received that, like when my husband proposed to me. Now, it's not living in the past, but the joy of the moment was, oh my God, that was so beautiful. And I can see it here again today, and I can see it with that feeling with that, and I always have it. Why do I keep telling myself I don't? And then you say, no, cancel, clear, delete. Thank you, Spirit. I'm transforming. You're learning to rise, and that's what you want to keep doing. So good job. You are definitely healing and growing, and you can get more out of it. I do feel I'm working on healing the brain and removing installs daily. Excellent. Excellent. And just so people understand, a tech and an install are two different things. Tech is usually what you write for yourself. An install is when somebody has pushed that energy so much that they've installed it to create a conditioning. So when the bell rings, but when you don't have that person, it's another signature or anything in your environment can trigger it. Again, you will learn to remove these, because you're like, oh my God, I saw it in fear. I have to respond this way, and I have to live as that reaction. And then I have to make sure I never have it again. So now I have to write another tech so that don't happen. You start healing these simultaneously, you're going to be amazed at how fast you go, just so you understand. Okay. The reason I spent a little longer on that is because I wanted people to understand the emphasis of how to do certain things and how you can get there. Amy says, I've been learning how many people leave in fear and judge themselves harshly. I want to help them see that joy is where it is, and it is everywhere. Excellent. Okay, so speaking of that, we're going to go over to Miss Amy. Miss Amy. The word petrified, and I'm looking how a tree turns to stone. Your soul is saying that there's something hysterical. What about me? Then when that occurred, you keep repeating that because you put these self-imposed limitations in to survive, which then makes it repeat to, what about me? Now, the self-imposed limitations came because of, oh my God, you witnessed something, participate in something, and it's all about going. It's something about going to have to. It's going. But the key denominator in all of it is that how do you respond to lofty negative energy? They said they want you to work on how a moment that appears, a moment there's a presence, a moment, any little angle you deprive. That is part of your self-imposed limitation. I'm supposed to deprive, so R2D it. Hello, official. How are you? You want a reading? Let me know. I'll look at the room in just a second. Just let me know. I need permissions. So now we're going to move from there to Nancy Burke. Miss Nancy Burke. There's some muddled energy. Muddled conditioning. So you have a conditioning going on, but you can't quite see it because you're so used to stifling when you start to feel these past programs that you had about distrusting. So you go, there's a distrust. There's a distrust. Then it becomes muddled. And your body says, you too says, what about me? But you also put a muffle or duct tape over that part of yourself because it's always about a territorial issue or power struggle. And they want you to notice it's a have to. Just begin to know it's a have to. Doesn't mean you have to, but it's a program that says I have to because they're fill in the blank, start taking notes. And when you start noticing what that is, learn to hold left wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay. Miss Lena, there's a lot of criticism that you do. I hear a conversation in my head. There's a lot of criticism. And you take what somebody said and you will hear it as criticism. And this is a strong filter because you even take and criticize how you've responded. So this program is really about how you actually cope-handle the deal when around 7 years old, there was no peace. You couldn't feel peace here. You couldn't feel peace here. And so it's a coping tool. So they said, in order for you to overcome this, notice that you have to catch when you do it and stop the temptation to do it. And they want you to begin to heal this out because your fear of being what? Controlled? Fear of being what? That is where you are going to say, okay, I'm going to take left wrist, second position, nice and soft. And I have the fear of being, and because I can hear the criticisms. Start there. Official, here you go. You have something that's called a gun shy. So it's how can you step back in the ring? How can you get back into the game of life? So something occurred that caused you to become gun shy, and there's a certain amount of aggression that you need, or assertiveness that you need. And I feel like you're not sure how to get the assertiveness because there's a certain amount of aggression that if you had to held back. And they're telling me around 10 years old that you became helpless, meaning something overpowered you to the point where you switched positions. And so that ability to be assertive or in your youth was aggression, has now taken the back burner. And all you can do is approach life every time is with passive. Okay. Since I had seen you, I nearly lost my partner on. Oh, really? He got a head injury. Whoa. So this is where you feel helpless. This is where you feel that you can't really be yourself because you don't want to lose somebody. So I said, Spirit, what she's told me and what you've told me, where do you want her to begin? And they want you to begin, oh my God, it is the moment that how you feel about, he was in a motorcycle bike answer. Okay. Notice how, okay, you have, there's a feeling that you know, because you had one when you were little, a feeling. And they said they want you to, you've done really good in life to self-regulate, but you regulate yourself so tightly that you forgot to turn it back on when you need it. So they want you to begin to heal how to use your power. They want you to go L2D because they need you to, like, so when you think of the motorcycle accident, is there picture, is there sound, is there feeling, and it goes into worry next. But when the first moment, okay, the first moment. So they want you to take your left wrist, find that second position, 2 fingers down, push your thumb in deep. Okay. Make a letter C, safety, security, and stability. Touch the top, let it drop, sit there. Look at the pictures. For you, you're going to do an added thing. As you're looking at the picture, or you're imagining it because you weren't there when you saw it, so the only way you could do it is you borrowed it from somebody's conversation or your own, oh my God, what does it look like? Because you have to understand, in order to understand words, you make pictures. So I want you to take, as you're holding, and then deliberately notice that you're looking at it, and deliberately switch eyes. So that means if we're looking this direction, you look over here. If you're looking just through this eye, kind of pull the energy in and look only through this eye at the subject while you're holding it. What happens is that you're going to start breaking up the OMG, because again, this isn't the first time you had the OMG. And they said that you're ready to break it up. Just measure it, 10 being the worst. Sit there with the whole thing, and you'll start to measure it, bringing it down. Okay? You'll start to bring it down. You can do this. You can do this. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So if you're new and you want a reading, you get 2, but you have to let me know and you got to give me permissions. Okay. So we're going to go over, oops. Crystal with the K. Crystal with the K. Yes, Crystal with the K. Small, crushed, inappropriate, deep. I don't want to feel. I don't want to think. Just, so what are you talking about? You give me all these clues. Oh, a lot of it has to do with towards myself. I don't want to feel. I don't want to think. It's just really deep. So I feel like you're in a certain state that you need to get out of. Life is good. Everything's happening. This is what we do with the kids. This is what we do. But when it's those alone times, your brain wants you to help your heart. So I want you to take left wrist, first position, push in deep, make the letter C, safety, security, stability, place it up there and sit there. And I want you to sit there, and I want you to notice when you get into that space and it's inappropriate and all this other stuff, notice how much I hate, whether you hate this part of your life, but you're like, but I don't understand why. Okay, this is a lot to do with hormones that has not regulated. So I'm looking at something going on in the body. Help your body. Help your body. Okay, sit there. Look at the body. Feel that. How you know the hate. And just measure. Stay there and do the healing. Let the body do the healing. Okay, just let the body do the healing. So Della Stokes, you look new to me, so you get 2. And Della Stokes. So what I'm looking at is realities. They're saying realities. As I look at realities, yes, it's on TikTok. There's a certain amount of phobia. And I'm looking at phobia. Yes. And I'm fighting. So that's something to do with fear, and you're fighting. Are you fighting the fear? No, I'm fighting the conditions that I have to let it play out. And I resonate with the story. I just want to run because I feel it's so bullying. I feel like it's just in my face, But at the same time, I feel like I have to keep myself home, or I have to keep myself here. I can't leave. I have to endure it. What they want you to do and help you understand, they said turn on the timer, is that they want you to hold right wrist. So far, does that make sense to your story? Because if you feel that you have to keep putting up with and you can't do anything about it, they want you to take your right wrist, find that first position. Okay, so I have 3 fingers usually, but this is the very first. Okay, thumb there, nice and soft. And then I want you to sit there. And I'm looking up and seeing if there's any response to it. I need you to relate to your story. But they're telling me in the feels, how you feel, feeling the fear. Can't figure it out. Can't figure it out. Oh my God, but I can feel the fear. They said that feels lofty, and that is where they want you to look. Because the self is saying that it has to always act out a certain things. I'm really sad and just don't know what to do with my struggle. I want you to right now put that on a scale from 0 to 10. And then I want you to take left wrist, second position, push your thumb in deep in the second position. And then I want you to place it on that. And I want you to sit there and measure that sadness. Sit there in that sadness. Sit there and I don't know what to do. Measure that. Sit there. And then give me 2 to 5 minutes. Come back. And then tell me if you still feel that bad. But you got to do this. You have to do this. Okay. Second position. Second position. Pushing deep. You sit with it. Make sure your palms touching your forehead. Okay. Measure it. That's what I want you to do. And then I want you to just sit there and stare at how you know this particular story that you just wrote. And then when you measure it back, it's important to look at the number. Okay. Lorene, what's going on? Holy shit. Can you help me sleep? I'm so rebirthed tonight. Shared for the best. Okay. What I want you to, okay, Spirit, she's got how many? You have 5 that are locked. All right, so you have a reoccurring hell that just keeps coming in your face, and it's so difficult to work and heal on this when it's related to your mama. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that, you got to find a home, you got to do this, you got to find that. So what they're saying is that the judgment, you're so hard on yourself, you feel the judgment of others, and then you take that on and make it so hard for yourself. You were assaulted Friday. That's why I'm feeling that. Okay. Lorene. So we're going to unlock this because you have been assaulted. Here's what we're going to do. Really? We're going to have you go down and make sure you use your hand or a magnet. But I need you to go down to the right. I need to go to the right. I need you to find the big toe and the second toe. Follow the 2 bones up until you fall into a squishy point. Then you're going to use your magnet, go across that 12 times. You've got to unlock this, Lorene. Okay, we got to get you out of shock. That's what we're doing. We got to get you out of shock. Once you've done that, back and forth, then push in. Okay. Do you want to come on the show? Or, I mean, you don't have to. I know you're messed. You're in shock. We got to get you out of shock. Okay. So I want you to take your right hand, right here, right hand, and find the point just above the crick. And I want you to rub that. We got to get you out of shock. We got to get you out of there. So just rub it. Right hand, just rub it. Rub it. What just happened to my computer? Okay, I know I'm there. I got that screen. That's my Facebook screen. Okay, good. So I don't know what that was about. So it's reloading the self. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. But I lost all of my communication now. What?
All of my communication now.
Nope. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing me back. Oh, there you are. Okay. 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 Your will is just locked down. We got to get that out of shot. Both sides, magnet, no. Okay, so you can do this at the same time if you're flexible, which I've seen you dance, you are flexible. So you're going to follow your pinky toe, so the outside of your leg, and you're going to go all the way across until you get to the middle. I want you just rub both sides. Give it a nice big rub. Give it a nice big rub. Keep rubbing. Keep rubbing. Okay, because now I got to get my adrenals to not be so in shock. I need to have you measure when you're done there, and you may have to do a couple rounds on that point, but I want you to feel, do you feel as shocked when you, just before you got on to talk to me, you already had a number of how you felt? Okay. My lower back, because that's where I'm feeling it too. Okay. Excellent. Measure, do you feel better? Okay. Now we're going to take and work on that. Your bladder is still in lockdown. This is why it's locked in your back. Do you want to hold the point? No, just they want you to go back down to that point on the bladder point right there. Rub it again, and then you're going to breathe. Now you're going to add something. When you can rub one side at a time, but I want you to. You're going to have to follow along with me, okay? So while you're rubbing, let's say you're rubbing this point here, you're going to go. You're going to breathe in and hold, and then you're going to just, and then you're going to breathe out, hold, don't breathe back in, and then you're going to go, do 2 rounds of tapping, and then you're going to breathe normal, and then you're going to switch. Don't worry, it doesn't matter if you screwed up, we'll do it again. Touch the other side, if you have whatever side you chose, touch that point on your foot, just in case other people are trying to figure out what I'm talking about right there. Now, you're going to breathe in as you're rubbing, hold your breath, 2 rounds of tapping, breathe out, hold your breath, and then pant. At the same time you're rubbing that point. You may yawn. That's okay. That's perfect. Add that into the mix, and then breathe normal. Now, how are you feeling? We had to get the body not to say I have to be allergic to things, or I have to go into a fence. I have to. So we're getting the body to balance. Okay, so much better. Now, are we talking physical pain now? Is the mental pain, emotional pain? Because I feel like everything's happening. If you feel like there's a little bit, measure back, tell me. Della says, I did what you said, and as soon as I started, I bursted into tears and cried the whole time. Now, what do you feel like it's still there as strong? Because even if it's there just a little, I need you to recognize that it's there. And look, it still looks like a 2. And I feel like we have to help heal your fractured self. Like what we did with Lorene was that we wanted to prevent her from creating a fractal self. So good. Love you, dear. Elle, you've got this, honey. I said, is there anything else we need to do for Elle? No. Now, she's in rest and digest. So if you are laying there at night and the assault pops back in with the 41 thoughts, I want you to go ahead and take the left wrist L, go to second position, push in deep. And only when it pops back up. But if your body's going like this and your mind's not there, then pay attention to your body. Go to L2D again, because it's like, it happened once, it could happen again. Okay. So We need to get the body to just change it out, because your inner world creates your outer world. We want to change that out. Okay? L, you got this, babe. Your methods came into my head the whole night. It's why I survived my angels and my, sweetheart, you've got this, babe. See, your soul knows. We're going to get you stronger and stronger. Every time you participate in healing yourself, you're getting your power back and you're growing, babe. I'm drinking chicken broth. Ooh, I made poached chicken and it's helped. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Good job. Good job. And again, if you also have problems breathing or sleeping again, stimulate your vagus nerve. Go to my website. You'll see a bunch of tricks that you can do. But these aren't just tricks. These are what will work for you in the moment. Maybe one, none, or all could help. But it helps your body to go back into rest and digest. Okay. I don't know if Della's still here because I didn't see a response. Okay, so if I see a response from her, we can help make sure it's gone. I'm going to give you one more thing, Lorene, and that is you take and allow yourself to go to my website, Medicine Woman Solution. Judy's put it up right there. And what I want you to do is do cord switching. Cord switching. You need to get that shit up by the roots because you were assaulted. That means the energy, the imprint, all that. The cord switching will actually begin to really take the power off. Anything they put on you, you can rip off. Anything they took, you take back. So do cord switching. That's going to help you tremendously. If you feel, I can feel that somebody else has been assaulted and have been quiet. You may want to go to my website too and look for sensory accessing. And get it out of your body. Hand on body. Oh my God, I can feel it's a 10. Pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. And then you go back and measure. Oh, it's not as strong. Okay, get it out, get it out, get it out. And then notice that you have more out here. So sensory accessing might help you as well. Oh, thank you. No, you do all the work. I just happen to know how spirit speaks. Della, yeah, you still here? So, yeah, I am. So now, Della, what I want you to understand is I need you to measure. Tell me what number, scale from 0 to 10. Is there any number on the scale that what you talked about is still strongly charged? Now, you can still going to have the memory, but it doesn't have to keep you as prisoner. And you may even change and dissipate the language that goes with that. And I won't know unless you communicate with me. I need you to know how you know you know. Okay. And then we can help you further. So I'll look back in just a moment. Thank you, everybody, for understanding. Spirit felt that it was necessary to help her. So that was a gift from Spirit, just so you know. We're going to go over to Miss Teresa P. Oh, no, before I go there, Della says it's nowhere near as bad as it was, feeling sad, just scared about the situation. Okay, see, now she's got different words to communicate, and I want you to take R3D. Okay, right wrist, third position, nice and deep. So take that right, lay 3 fingers. Where your third finger is, you place your thumb. You're going to push in. Finger here, make the letter C, wrap, safety, security, stability, hand on head, and make sure the palm is touching the forehead. And look at the words, just scared about the situation. Measure that. Okay. I can feel your relief, Elle. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay, I'm so happy that you're better. I will be teaching source point healing sessions soon because I believe all of you need this. And thank you so much for, what is that? What was that? You sent me, is it a globe? No, what is that? My screen is so small. I'm trying to remember. Somebody is sending me these wishing bottles. Oh my God, they're cute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, your name goes on the drawing. Okay. Teresa P. Miss Teresa. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Says you want to create a poll? No. Teresa. I got to pee, but my body says Mary had a little lamb. So I'm feeling this nursery rhyme, and it's about there's certain irritations. So did something when you're little that somebody would use nursery rhymes or rhyming or something that eventually irritated you because you're longing for something, you're longing and you're attracting in a very passive part. Your body's telling a lot. It wants to. So this is where I would tell you to use some dream therapy and allow yourself to say, oh my gosh, your dream is going to start teaching you something that you have been very much intimidated. You're timid and shy. It has to do with the soul attraction and that you got to bring it in, this invading energy and lofty energy, because it keeps repeating. And it's kind of like what I just spoke with Elle about. So we're going to look at a particular part of how your conclusion of the shock of what happened to you is that I'm an object, I'm nothing. And they said you can start healing backwards, left wrist, third position, nice and deep. Okay. Nice and deep for Teresa P. Breathe. Okay. So Miss Patty. So I'm looking at Miss Patty, and Miss Patty says, stubborn. I'm not going to let go of how I feel. That bitch made me pissed. And I said, are you looking for forgiveness? No, you're conditioned. Is this a new conditioning? No, this is a condition of how you know how people invade your space at 6 years old. But it's how towards myself story. And towards myself, I have this compulsion that it's just unfair. So then we're working with your little self and how your adult self can't process it out. So you're going to take your left wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay. And you're going to sit there. It's unfair because you're like, I can let this go. But the body says, it's unfair. Really, really focus on that. I says, is there anything else you want her? Because as soon as this pushes, I have to respond this way, and it's unfair. So notice that I have to respond this way. It's also L2S. Okay. Two very specific things in that moment. Linda Love, as soon as I'm about ready to say your name, it says, I'm having problems with my truth. What are you talking about? My 7-year-old self and my soul attraction as I bring in aggressive people, and I'm stuck in my reaction. Okay, so is this an active memory? I'm stuck in my reaction about how I'm incompatible. I can't stop believing in how I'm incompatible. So I always said, oh, you're incompatible with me. I need to have a talk with you. You're being incompatible with me. So you've learned as you've grown that you can address this, but the problem is just what I said, just right there. It is the feeling and the nature of feeling that you're incompatible. If you can allow yourself to get in that stage, you'll be able to tap into your 7-year-old where you feel you have to feel like erratic behavior. I didn't say erotic. I said it'd be erratic. Look the word up because the body's like going, it's hard for me to speak my truth. If I'm still believing in a certain way, my body says I'm believing in a certain way. And I said, okay, so what do you want her to do? They said, this is like a trip. If you begin to see it, Linda, R3S it. Right wrist, R3S, because your body is your body, not your mind, as much as you're not seeing it yet. And so you're ready to lift your awareness, the awareness to lift the veil. So your body says, use your awareness to see the incompatibility. Don't create a story. Just, oh, there it is. I'm going to R3S this. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying, babe? Because the body's trying to tell you, and up here you're letting love. Your body's saying, oh my God. So your vessel, your ship, this hosting, this body consciousness wants you to go fix and clean up that area so that it can work. Yes, you do. Excellent. Love you, babe. You got this. Okay. Autumn, Miss Autumn. Now let's see, Miss Autumn. I'm looking at the life a life, that life. I'm looking inside the vibration inside the body. So I'm looking at how your body sees life. Yeah, that's it. You've had been a lot this weekend. And what it is there's a lot of what? Do you have a lot of blame going on? Some self-blame going on? It's interesting because I feel, oh my God, down by my tailbone and taking over my left leg, how others perceive you. It's how others perceive you. And there's something about, they're just not accepting something. And it seems like you have to get more aggressive and make your point across or something. Not sure what happened this weekend to you, but does this make sense so far? I feel like my left side is I want to bolt and run. I got to come up with a new strategy because this one ain't working. I've tried this, it didn't work. I've tried this didn't work. They're telling me they want you to do L2D because you're learning how to exert your power, but you also have to understand you have to take your power back. Sleeping a lot. Okay. Your physically body does not know how to cope, handle, and deal when their energies keep putting your vibration on the inside says that I'm just incompatible with these people. The reason I'm going to go on a little longer here is I need you to understand this is important for everybody. She's in a position that she's growing, but her environment, the people in her environment are the same, and they can't hear her at the level of consciousness that she is at. So the more that she tries to communicate and talk to where she's at, she's talking to the wrong audience. She needs to turn around and look at the audience that wants to talk to her, that want to communicate with her. Because when I used to communicate with my family, that wasn't just out of sync. It was levels of frequencies that were just different. And I realized you only understand at the level of consciousness to which you are looking from and living from. So I would try to argue, or I would try to convince, or Spirit says, stop it. They can't hear you. And I don't care how many times you try. They're not meant to. You're rising. You're growing. You need to now notice that door's closed. You can have them. Just wake up. Start living you. What's your purpose? What you love? Keep going. And just do it. Because you're going to be in a situation where you're going to start feeling better and better and better. And then once they see that you're not showing up the way that you should be to them, okay, you don't have to. But I'm just saying, you're going to mess up their world, but it's not your job to correct their world. Your job is to break free and move. Do what you got to do. Yes, Amy, same thing. You got to do what you're doing. This is where you have to be okay to lose your family and friends. They're not going to die. You just have to learn how to zig and they zag. You have to learn how to stop being attached. Now, I got to tell you this one. When we're little, we love who we are. But if this person didn't love it, they will withhold love. And so you said, I'll sacrifice myself, attach myself to them. And then you live that way. But now you're at a stage where you're like, I don't want to be attached to them. I've got my independence, self-empowerment. I'm building and building that. And I'm learning to listen with my soul so that I can become whole again. That's where you're at. No, I don't know how to say your last name, Autumn, but all of a sudden it's like, I want to listen to Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay. And who knows the song? Oh my God, I can't think of the song's name, but it's a Bohemian Rhapsody. No, it's the Boehne is what you have at the end. And it's reminded me of the song, and the song has words and inspiration. Oh, good Lord, what is the name of the song? I can't even get any words. So what I might do is go over here and say Bohemian Rhapsody lyrics, and it's by Queen. Is this the real life? Is this just a fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. And then it goes on to talk about the store. That's I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. But then it jumps into, oh no, hold on. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Now you have to transform it out. And there's another song that has to do with, I think it's Queen. It's something to do with a comeback song. It's like schools would sing this. Let me see if I can find it. We will rock you. No, I don't think that's it. No, that's not it. Not Radio Gaga. No. Oh my gosh. We are the champions, my friend. That's where they were trying to get me to go. Yes, you can go from negative to positive. That's it. I knew it. Yes. So they want you to know you've already done paying your dues. Let's see. I will keep fighting till the end. Now, here's the thing that they want you to know. You can use as inspiration, but you don't have to fight. You're going to rise. You're rising because you don't have to see the negative and say, oh, they're losers. You can just go, I'm listening to my soul. I'm listening to my soul. Okay? It's so important you understand this. They want you to learn to change your soul song. They want you to download a new soul song. It's so important. Okay? So Della says that made me tear up, but I feel like I'm going to be okay, and it's going to come out okay. See, notice how she has started to shift. She did the healing. You don't have to believe every word, every emotion that sits there and runs through you. If you don't know how to respond, that means you pulled away from love and your higher consciousness into the survival mindset, and you're only rehearsing with not enough information. So by healing, you're coming back to more of your whole self, if that makes any sense. All right, I'm looking, anybody in the rooms that I've missed that didn't send a 1 minute in. If you're new, let me know. I'll do 2. And if you are just in the room, let me know. And you want a 1 minute, I'm happy to give that to you. I'm happy to give that to you. Songs and dreams can mean a lot. Look at the lyrics. Say, I need to do how to read songs and books and stories. And Lillian! Hey, babe. Okay. I'm looking now, again, anything to do with life, love, any of that, work. They want you to notice that you have limitations and a condition. They want you to begin to notice that you're supposed to do the right thing. And I feel like you're fighting for justice, maybe for woman's cause, but there's a fighting for justice. There's something there. But at the same time, if you just kind of look not at that mask and you begin to feel deeper, you'll notice there's an incompatibility. And they said that you keep repeating this thing over and over, and life in itself and work in itself, because it has to do with how your brain has been marked towards yourself with a strong belief of the paradigm that you're not good enough, or this is what's wrong with women. It's all of these old belief systems that are interfering with you. And you're doing your best to get your life back. And they said if you were to just drop yourself into here, how there's worry, how that old belief system comes up. Write it down. Men don't like me. I don't get paid enough. Because there's a part of, I don't belong here. They're mean. Write these down because they're all negative, and somehow it has to do with you being around 5, and it's how others treat others. And I feel this is culture. I feel it's gender. They want you to start to, hey, that's overbearing, L2D. Hey, that's very negative, L2D. Hey, I just gave away my power because I yelled back, L2D. Hey, I feel hurt. I just gave you my power, L2D. You see a theme here? L2D. Okay, so Rochelle, are you new? Rochelle Murthra? If you're new, you don't get 1, you get 2. So you just let me know if you're new. I'm going to go over to Miss Robin. Robin, life. And all of a sudden it goes into an empty space. And then it says importance. And going back to an empty space. This space is that you're supposed to go up and down, up and down. And I feel this is your 4-year-old self that had to live in hell, and then you had to escape into your brain. I have to get back, live in hell, and then go back and So I'm looking at 2 parts of you, and it's time for you to understand. And then in the lumbar, you couldn't talk back, so you always have this disapproval, and you kind of keep this other part of you shut up. And you hated being scorned. And so to help you get out of this, they want you to hold R2S, because in order for the integration for you to happen, you have to get into how that energy of all these things are coercing, forcing, pushing. You have to turn around and say, I hate that. That right there. You have to really pinpoint that. And then when you start to really pinpoint that, they want you to understand R2S is you're starting to face the very thing that caused you to separate yourself. That is the thing I'm talking about, Lillian. That's the thing. You lost your job because I filed a discrimination case. But you notice, is this, even though you're there and you feel like this is part of what you're supposed to do, they said, are you ready to rise and find one that we don't always have to fight? Because you keep repeating history about discrimination, and you keep saying, yes, I see it. I'm going to fight to stop it. And yes, so the body and the soul keeps going around and around and around. And Lillian, if you want to help improve the world, then let's stop believing in the one thing. Okay, no, I don't want to say that. Discrimination is important to squash. Bad things, unhealthy things, but we need to heal and rise. When you say you don't like something, you sow it and it keeps getting it. I want you to cancel your order to the universe for discrimination. I want you to learn to take your power back and rise so that you can hold a new level of energy so that this can stop repeating into your space. You're repeating and regurgitating this particular energy field over and over. And the thing is that, see, she says, I knew that work environment is really toxic. So why is it that you keep gravitating to jobs to do that to you? I'm looking at the program. I'm not trying to blame you or hurt you in any way. I want you to understand your soul is saying it's going to keep repeating until that you end it. I feel like this time I need to fight to get my power back. Correct. This is where you're at, and I will respect that. So they still saying that it has to do with the power. You still should hold L2D because there's an exertion of power, a loss of power. It's the OMG. It is how you're hurt. That point would do you a great deal of getting your life force back. Because my ex and I, it was just to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And it was just constant. And so the environment was toxic. So I started doing a lot of L2D. And I had to face the fact that when I grew up, it was very violent. And the more that I started to work, not just on my ex, but down the line, I was sitting there and I had healed so much of my root that when he was doing his little nastiness with his words, I didn't take offense. I no longer lost power, and he knew it. And what happened is like the witch when you threw water on the witch, she goes, I'm melting. Because I hadn't given a reaction or response on the inside, I didn't take offense in that. I did not lose my power. I didn't have to hear him. He wasn't this big guy anymore. He was little. What happened? I no longer had to play that storyline out ever again with him or with anybody. I switched timelines. I watched him every day for 20 years, and all of a sudden, he's there. I had no reaction. It wasn't that I was numb. I healed that too. I was like, you done yet? I was like, whoa. And he knew that I had my power back because I had healed it on here. And this man, no matter how big he was, didn't affect any of my sensory system. He knew it too, and he was melting. And he ended up having to get up and walk away. And he realized with all the fighting he was doing, he could not do it again. He had to accept. There was no more power play because I had taken and said, I don't have to believe this shitty ass situation anymore. I take my power back. No more freaking responding. No more investing in that story. I'm done. I had enough. And I took and I healed myself so much so I just empowered myself, created independence, and I was able to just start living as me. Yes, I've stood up for myself many times, but I kept repeating the same story. Now, I will tell you how good that is because I had not stood up for myself. But then all of a sudden, I think it was like 10 years into the marriage, and this scared the shit out of me because I had such a self-imposed limitation. I thought I was going to die if I stood up to him. But when I finally did, and I said, I'm on strike, and I stood up to him, my body wanted to go into shock, but all of a sudden it was, wait, what? I had not died. My body says, you didn't die. I could hear it. He didn't come in and attack. He didn't do this. Look what he's doing. And I can understand standing up and getting your power back. But I can also say, if you keep repeating this, it's time to just heal the shit out and stop bringing this back into your space. I would tell you to do a cord switching because they took your power. They placed something on you and they took something from you. Do cord switching. OMG, a little L2D, transform the story. Because Lillian, no matter where you're at, you have the power to heal this, not just ego respond, not just ego react, but to heal this. Okay, so I'm looking and I see, oh, I know why I couldn't see it because the darn thing stopped. How you doing? Okay. Okay, Crystal Williams, if you're here. Crystal Williams, are you here? Giselle, and then you said there's 3? Okay, I'm looking over at TikTok and okay, so Crystal Williams. And I don't know, I don't think I've read you before. Have I read you before? And Katie. Okay, before I go to Crystal, I need to know if I read you before. But I'm going to take Katie. Katie, whoops, and then I'll come back. So Katie. I'm looking at whining. So there's a part of you that doesn't understand that when you're moving to the next stage of you as you're healing, the self-talk and that intolerance towards how you respond to life and the whining. And your child, you can see when your kids are whining, but when you do it, what is it doing? And they're saying it's part of you that learning that you're not seeing the praise for doing such a hard job. And it plays out And then there's action. So what's happening is the body is requiring, because the body says I have an old program when I was little that I need to know I'm okay, that I'm doing it right. Even though consciously as an adult, you're saying I'm fine. The body is saying that there's a little bit of bitterness, disappointment, and anger, that you're not getting a certain amount of good job. And the body is recalling like at 4 years old. So you have the attraction factor, keep bringing it in, that you just feel, I want you to look up the word contempt. And then when you're done looking all that up, I want you then to look at L2S, because those energies are playing overpowering games. Okay. Take what I said, look that up, then hold left wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay. Crystal, I did not think I read you before. So you get 2. And you get, we're looking at safety, looking. Okay, my nose is inside is draining. So I've got like sinus issues or something like this. I feel like there's some inner crying, but you had to suppress something, because I'm feeling how my face hurts. Everything feels like you had to suppress in order to overcome your reaction to something. You feel this, the thing that you had to overcome, and not a person, but a thing that you had to overcome, is very haughtiness. So when you, I want you to take that word and just remember, it's Haughty, haughtiness. And look what it means is that it's arrogantly superior or disdainful. When you feel this, so if you're sitting there and you had to overcome an issue, you can feel how it's trying to rise up and be in your face and take over. They want you to look at that very specificness, because you've seen that when you were little, and where people wanted to keep you home. Okay. They didn't want you to grow up. Does this make sense so far? Because it's always making sure you do the right thing, Crystal. Right and wrong. And this belief system, am I doing the right thing? You couldn't really allow yourself to believe in yourself. So you feel that in their words, I feel like maybe a mother is invading in your space. So when now you're an adult, you're going to do something and you feel, I do the right thing. And all of a sudden, the thing that you need to do, you stopped yourself because you believed it was wrong. So I need you to look at that and notice how R2S, how you stifle it, how it's trying to come up. All the things I said, take your right wrist, find this 2 fingers down. The second finger, you place your thumb, and in that thumb, you place softly. So it's 2 fingers, left thumb, right wrist, nice and soft. Make the letter C, wrap it around, top of the head, let the palm touch your forehead. And I want you to measure how I said it. Okay. Measure how I said it, and allow yourself. It's a 10. Oh my God. Be it, breathe it, know it. And then after you give yourself 2 to 5 minutes, you're going to notice that it's going to come down. Oh, she gets one more because she was invited. Okay. A certain amount of, we're going to go back to this lofty energy. I'm going to say, is it the situation? No, in this case, it's conditioned. You are conditioned, young lady. And that's when the bell rings. You have to take a certain amount of action, young lady. I don't know if those were very much triggering words, but they're emphasizing that. And it's like, as soon as you do, you're supposed to feel a little shy, a little timid, a little startled, and to call you into action. And your body just wants to flee. It wants to run. It's like, no, I want to run. I can't do this. I don't want to. It is in the flee mode that you are supposed to notice. That's when you lose the amount of lack of power, less power. So you're going to do left wrist, second position, and the second finger, you place the thumb, pushing deep, make the letter C, wrap these 3, and sit there. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? I'm looking And I got one more. I know. Oops. Wait, one more I got to do. Give me a second. I have to understand something here. I can't figure out Windows 11 yet, so I don't know where all my stuff is for my show. But I do have to run to the little girl's room. Normally, I like to put up a little screensaver so you can see it. So give me just like 2-3 minutes. No, just kidding. I'll be quick. See, I'm back. I'm back. And my door is stuck. There we go. Okay. Thank you for waiting. All right. I keep refusing to upgrade. Well, I did it, and I'm not, my body's like, it's new. I'm like, oh, shut up. But I didn't think about, I'll get to it. One more. Okay, so who else is here? I can't remember now who I just did. So I got Crystal, Giselle, that's it. Giselle, here we go. Irrationality. Now, they said it's not irrational, it's a rationality. It's about how when you were in fear or you felt bad, that you were rationalizing what just happened. But what happened is that because fear was involved, it's being oversympathetic over to someone. Being, oh my goodness. And it has to do with relationships. So you become oversympathetic. And when you start to emphasize with them, what happens is that the self, you, go into a learned helplessness. So I can have compassion, but I go too far. If I go too far, then I'm going to create undue karma for me and undue karma for you. So when can you step back, and let the help you're doing, let them learn to help themselves by doing the work themselves, and you don't have to do the whole thing. So if you feel like you've done this, notice that the reason that it was born is because there was an OMG. I didn't want to feel something. To get to that storyline, as soon as you start to feel over sympathetic, they want you to go left wrist, second position. It's in the second position. You place your thumb and you place it nice and deep, because you want to get that fear state to resolve so that you get out of that irrational part and that you can go into the healthy part of your evolution. Okay. Yes, I'm like the fastest peer in down under. I have no idea. Just know when you had kids, you got to go. You got 2 seconds. Do it. All right. Thor, please let me know if she gives me. I gotta go. Okay. So it's about her dog. It's about her dog. So Thor, what we have for your dog, my gosh, he has the martyr archetype. He has the martyr archetype. And is he mirroring you? No. He is to helping you just understand about the martyr archetype. It's what you do towards yourself. Now, with Bo, the reason you're seeing his issues is because he's still doing his little self that he didn't feel safe. And he is taking the energy in because he doesn't quite understand. So what I'm going to have you do is that take Bo, and you're going to start doing figure eights around Bo's energy field. Now, what I'd like you to do is that they're telling me that when you go down to the back of his neck, or almost right before his neck touches his torso, I want you to tap in that area. Now, understand this is a spine. I want you to tap around the spine, and you can tap on the spine as well, but you can even put it up and do both sides like that. But I want it to be right there. And I want you to just do figure eights and just kind of help, because his body and his mind need to start to create this safety around him. And if I asked, would fluffing his aura help? No. And it's about a conditioning. He's stuck in a reaction to watch people's reactions. So because you're a teacher, that would make sense. But he feels towards himself that invading energies. So it doesn't even have to come from you. It comes from the first experience he had before, from others. So again, I feel the Celtic wave. Others. He can tell when people are not connected to their spirit, when they go ho-hum, when they go into a boredom, when they go to reach what the next thing they do, they don't use it with creativity, they use it with from the ego. So I want you just to start doing figure eights and tapping right up in here. You can go up and down here if you want, and go a little of the torso, more of his neck, but just kind of lightly, nothing hard. And just do some figure eights and see what happens. Okay, just see what happens. You're welcome, Giselle. All right, guys. Anybody in the rooms that want a reading that I haven't read, let me know. I'm going to double check to make sure I didn't miss anything. I see nothing there. I believe I've... let's see here. Let me just refresh. Oh, yes. Wonderful, Carter. No problem. So funny, because they said they wanted you to see that you're not the enemy. I feel like you've been taught that you're the enemy and they're going to get hurting. Somebody's going to hurt you or something. But there's a lot of wailing, W-A-L-L, like the wailing wall, a crying, a wailing. And this wailing is inside of you. Because you were told, I think, because of that you were in the army. Oh, I forgot about you. Yes, I get you. That there's no empathy. You're supposed to shut it off. But you are very much a wonderful, loving person. And because you were taught to do that, and your part of you is getting turned back on to that I have that love. I want you to hold L3D, left wrist, third position, right down in here. Nice and deep. And I want you to realize how you had to shut it off. You can't have empathy for your enemy. You can't, or you'll die. Listen to the whole story. Listen to it all, because you're not in that space anymore. And it's time to get your soul back into the groove of love. Yes, very hard times lately. Yes, L3D, babe. L3D. Rochelle Murthra. I was going to say your name last time, and Spirit said, wait, now. Here we go. You're new, so you get two. So that's Rochelle. You're welcome, Carter. Ready? Here we go. Rochelle Murthra. We're looking at the word worthless. Bitterness. And they're saying that, because I'm really in slow-mo right now, it's like self-soothe. I mean, they're conditioned to have to go through it, but it feels like I'm in slow motion. And it's like you stopped time and you went into slow motion. Where did my happy go? I'm watching that in that it feels like time is very slow, the mental anguish. So there's a lot of thoughts. A lot of false stories coming from so many people. Does this make any sense so far? And there's a lot of, and I feel like you can see energies. You just don't know you can see them in the way that I want you to start reading them, because people have these energy fields. Some people have this great contempt energy. Yes, makes sense. They said that there's a part of you, it's like, in order for you to, you got to heal this so that you can get back to resume back to time in the timeline you want, but you're like right here. You're not sure how to really respond to yourself. I said, how old is this? What did something happen about 3 months ago? Something's still playing out. Is there anxiety involved? And was there an OMG? Oh my God, did something happen? Just let me know, and I'll give you a healing tool. I need to make sure that you understand this. I got a lag. Got a patient, Brenda. There's lag. Okay, and just making sure this is all taken care of. Nothing comes to mind 3 months ago. Okay, so if the ego's not letting you, so let's go, Spirit, tell her what it is that you want her to know so she can register what occurred. A lot of discouragement came out. A lot of discouragement. And when it's just like, oh God, I'm so disgusted by this. So they're showing me something in just a normal. So when that happened, you resumed, but I really feel that you've had to reassure yourself, lie to yourself, a false self-assuredness, so that you could go through. Are you still going through it? The vibrational energy on the inside of you is wanting to expand. Problems with my ex, maybe? Yes. Yes. Okay. Ooh, now I've got hormonal things that are going on. I said, is this the hormonal things? Is it, no, is it, it is how the conditioning process. So my body is saying that I responded to my ex of a very specific moments, and it throws my hormones off. The word is, you got a lot of dread, and he just don't get me. I said, okay, if this makes sense, where would you like her to begin her healing process? It is having to exert her power without morphing into old patterns with him. I'm even talking slow. The body has a problem of being decisive or indecisive. Makes sense. And it comes through the kids too. Yes. I'm going to ask a question. Does this have to do with sloth? No. Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. So there's this towards. In order to live with this person, you had to do something towards yourself. You had to invalidate yourself in order to get him to, and so you thought, I love him so much, and he's an issue. He has an issue. And the best way to show up for him at the time was to invalidate yourself. And then you trained him to treat you a certain way, but he already wanted, because he does it to a lot of people. Does that make sense? And I know you don't want to repeat it again. You don't have to. But if you wanted to begin to heal this particular thing that's going on, they want you to understand that it's about power. Either he exerts it, you exert it. Look at it. Look at that power play, that energy pull, that. And then I want you to just take what's on your mind. Oh, God, here we go again. Whatever it looks like. If you can't muster anything else but this moment, out of the 41 thoughts, it's this moment. He's involved. Take your left wrist. Find the second position. 2 fingers down. Put your thumb in the second position, the 2 fingers down. Push in deep. Make the letter C. Wrap your 3 fingers around. Touch the top of your head. Make sure that your palm is touching your forehead and just sit there. Breathe it through. Measure it. Sit there. Let the body do the work. Notice the words you're working on if you do find certain words. Now, some people, if they listen, they can hear it switch. Let go, write the next sentence, go back. And you're going to hear a story. You're going to hear how your brain changes, and you're going to give yourself empowerment that way. But if you can't do that process, that's fine. But I feel like you listen, and you can get some great epiphanies along the way. Great epiphanies along the way. Kind of tell me, whoever's remaining, how did you find me? Was it just on your own, or somebody directed you, or was it through one of the sites that come up? Who's this? Okay. You're welcome. Go heal yourself. You're so worth it. You're worth it. Rise and shine. It's not just the sun. Rise and shine. All right. If there's anybody else in the room, let me know. Again, you can find me YouTube. Facebook has all the Facebook videos. I'm on TikTok. Adding little things here and there. Learning to reach out and communicate. If there's anybody else, thank you for the shares. Thank you for the gifts. Just know that I won't be here. I'll be here tonight. So if you, let's see, what is it? 1:20 here. I'm just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In less than 5 hours, I will be here. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Smiley. I appreciate that. Did that reading that you paid for make sense? I'm just curious because I haven't heard back from you. So did that make sense? I didn't even know you're in the room, dude. Good to see you. You know, because a lot of people are finding me on their own, which is awesome. But the weird part is, okay, good. The weird part is that I keep putting all this information out there, and I'm like, and I don't know if my Facebook jail, now the Facebook jail, in this case, they said I had put out wrong information and they couldn't prove it. Therefore, it was wrong. And they put me in 6 months lockdown. But that was supposed to be my personal page. And I'm trying to see if it's lifted or not. And there was 3 things. One of them was a baby laughing, and they said that's wrong. And I'm like, did you even look at the video? And then there was a Australian bird, and we have one. Well, they told me that that they can't prove it, so therefore I'm passing wrong information. And I'm like, who are these people that are doing all of these things at Facebook land that says that they are smarter than? I'm like, what? But anyway, I'm hoping I'm out of lockdown soon, because I think in a way it does affect the algorithms of my fan page. Anybody else? Okay. You guys are wonderful. Again, if you're going to be here and I'll be back on in less than 5 hours. If you happen to be up, I'm here. Get a second reading if you want. Doesn't matter. Curtis says, we have been fighting with the new community standard stuff. Oh, interesting. It is an issue. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So how can you be you? So again, it's a fighting. It's a war. It's what your body knows anyway. Certain computer stuff that's going on. You'll be here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. Okay. Just so you know, watch my old videos. You feel stuck. Anything happens. Go watch a video. And if you're in tribe, go watch old tribes. Now, tribe will always happen. So tomorrow we're going to have our tribe. And when I get back, we'll have tribe. So that won't be missed. I will make sure I honor that. Unless there's unforeseen circumstances, which I can't imagine. I may go on TikTok because I may explore to see how certain things are going to work on the road. We may travel, we may not. Don't know yet. But we want, because we want to travel in the future, we want to know we can still connect with people through whatever videos, whether it's through phone or hotspots or laptops. And good things are coming. Good things are coming. So if you really want to learn how to heal yourself, we have a next thing that's coming. I can't tell you when because I still haven't put out the major flyer, but it has to do with source point healing. And if you haven't seen me do it, just ask around, watch some of my videos. And if you have a headache, Spirit knows exactly how to go in and find it. And Spirit knows how to help you see whether it's locked or unlocked. It tells you you can read the stories if you want, or you can just go in. Spirit will tell you in which order to rub certain points and what you need to do and to get it to yourself back into alignment. You can also go further and read stories, and you can work on many levels with this, especially when you are depressed. If you feel out of sync, or if you feel that you feel sick, anything. Source point healing is a really awesome tool to have in your back pocket for yourself and for others. I had somebody that was in shock the other day. They're like, oh my God, I'm in shock. And I'm like, well, let's take care of this. In a matter of about a minute and a half, they're back to normal. They felt like themselves again. So there's a lot we can do. Yes, I'm so grateful that you are able to play with me on TikTok. And it's so good not to have certain physical pains and issues anymore. All right, guys. Remember, the more you stick with me, you're going to learn. Hashtag resolve to evolve. It's not just your daily issues. It's your soul issues. We're going to rise. Hashtag you can heal that. You can heal that. I can heal that. Oh my God, I can really do it. Instead of feeling you have to be a victim and you got to suffer. No, heal that shit out. And number 3, hashtag heal instead of deal. Most people just think I have to deal, cope, pacify. No, screw it. Don't even have to manage. Just go and sit there, take a couple seconds, heal it out, and you can start to resume back to a healthy alignment. And hashtag feel it to heal it. Some people say, can I just run from it? No, you have to feel a very distinct feeling and sensation in the body. And when you tap into that and heal it out, your story starts to dissipate, because the end results from a past experience is always going to show up. And you may have different people in your life, but it will almost be the same sensation and story and almost the same. There's a lot of sameness. Ego makes you forget. And Amanda, do you want me to give you 1 minute before I leave? I'm signing off, but I can slip 1 more 1 minute in there if you want a quick read. So just wondering. Waiting for the lag, because you never know about these lags. No matter what you're doing, remember that I already see you whole. I already see you happy and healthy. So I already see you blessed. So no matter what, when I say stay blessed, start reaching for that gratitude. Start reaching of how you already know you got your blessings. Return to your blessings. You got that? All right. So remember, stay blessed and happy healing. Stay blessed and happy healing. And you too, my YouTube friends. Gotta find the right mouse. Stay blessed. Happy healing.